In this Money Smart Basics video, we will break down how the 2025 government shutdown impacts families, covering delayed paychecks, frozen benefits, higher living costs, and practical steps to protect your household. Remember to like and subscribe for more Money Smart Basics videos. If you have any suggestions for financial literacy topics, please leave a comment. Stay until the end to receive a bonus tip. Good evening. Tonight, we're diving into a topic that's become a recurring headline and a source of anxiety for millions of Americans: the government shutdown. You've probably heard the term before, but what does it really mean when the government shuts down? Let's break it down in simple terms. A government shutdown happens when Congress, the legislative branch responsible for funding the federal government, fails to pass the necessary spending bills. Without these bills, there's no legal authority for many federal agencies to keep operating as usual. The federal government's fiscal year starts on October 1st. If lawmakers can't agree on a budget by midnight on that date, a shutdown is triggered. This means that until a new funding agreement is reached, many government operations must come to a halt. Not everything stops, though. Essential services, like national security, air traffic control, and border protection, continue to operate. These workers are often required to work without pay until the shutdown ends. Meanwhile, non-essential services, such as processing passport applications or running museums, are paused. The process is complex. Congress must pass 12 separate appropriations bills to fund different parts of the government. Each bill must be approved by both the House of Representatives and the Senate, and then signed by the President. Disagreements over policy or spending priorities can stall this process. When lawmakers can't reach a deal in time, they sometimes pass a temporary measure called a continuing resolution. This short-term fix keeps the government open at current funding levels, buying more time for negotiations. But if even that fails, a shutdown begins. The impact is widespread. Millions of federal workers may be furloughed or forced to work without pay. Families across the country feel the effects, from delayed paychecks to uncertainty about vital services. Some programs like Social Security and Medicare continue to operate because they're funded differently, but many other services, such as national parks, food safety inspections, and tax processing, are disrupted or suspended, affecting daily life for countless Americans. Since the late 1970s, the U.S. has experienced over 20 government shutdowns. Some have lasted just a day or two, while others have stretched on for weeks, causing increasing hardship and frustration. The longest shutdown in history lasted 35 days, from late 2018 into early 2019. During that time, hundreds of thousands of workers went without pay, and critical services were delayed or halted, highlighting just how disruptive these political standoffs can be. As another funding deadline approaches, families, workers, and businesses across the nation are bracing for the potential fallout. The uncertainty and stress caused by a government shutdown ripple far beyond Washington, touching lives in every community. At the heart of every government shutdown lies a complex and deeply rooted conflict, one that goes far beyond simple disagreements over numbers on a page. It's a struggle that touches the lives of millions of Americans, from families trying to pay their bills to workers wondering if their next paycheck will arrive on time. The core issue is a fundamental clash over national priorities, with each side holding firm to their vision for the country's future. On one side, lawmakers argue for increased investment in social programs, education and healthcare, believing that a stronger safety net and better schools will benefit society as a whole. On the other, opponents push for spending cuts, reduced government intervention, and a focus on fiscal responsibility, convinced that a leaner government is the key to long-term prosperity. This year, the divide is sharper than ever before. Lawmakers are locked in fierce debates over funding for nearly every federal agency, from defense to public health, with little room for compromise. Some members of Congress use the looming budget deadline as leverage, attaching unrelated policy demands to must-pass funding bills. These tactics often turn negotiations into high-stakes political standoffs, where progress grinds to a halt. As a result, finding common ground becomes nearly impossible, and the legislative process stalls, leaving critical decisions unresolved. The consequences of this gridlock are not just political, they're deeply personal. Families worry about missed paychecks, communities brace for disruptions in essential services, and vulnerable Americans face uncertainty about the support they rely on. The inability of lawmakers to agree on a budget is a reflection of the deep divisions that shape our politics today, highlighting just how difficult it has become to find consensus in a polarized environment. For everyday Americans, this political stalemate isn't just an abstract debate in Washington, it's a real threat to their stability, their livelihoods, and their access to the essential services they depend on every day. Healthcare is a major flashpoint in this year's budget fight. Lawmakers are split over whether to extend enhanced ACA subsidies that help millions afford insurance. If these subsidies expire, some families could see premiums jump by over 75%. Democrats want to make the subsidies permanent. Some Republicans oppose the cost and prefer other priorities. The debate also includes recent Medicaid cuts, adding to the uncertainty. For families, it's not just politics. It's about being able to afford a doctor or prescription. The fate of these programs leaves millions anxious about their health coverage. This single issue highlights the high stakes of the budget standoff. Not everything shuts down when the government does. Essential services, national security, law enforcement, air traffic control keep running. The military, border patrol, and federal prisons remain staffed. But non-essential services pause, causing delays in passport processing, small business loans, and scientific research. National parks and museums often close or operate with minimal staff, disappointing visitors and communities. Programs like Social Security and Medicare continue, but administrative delays are likely. The line between essential and non-essential can feel arbitrary. For those who rely on paused services, the disruption is significant. These closures are a visible reminder of the shutdown's reach. Even insulated programs can experience slowdowns, affecting millions. For low-income families, a shutdown threatens access to food. SNAP benefits are safe for October, but a prolonged shutdown could jeopardize future payments. The Department of Agriculture has a reserve fund, but its use isn't guaranteed. WIC, which helps mothers and young children, is at even greater risk. Many states could run out of money within days. Families may face impossible choices, paying rent or buying food. The disruption to WIC is especially alarming, as it supports nutrition during critical development. For millions, the shutdown isn't just political, it's a direct threat to health and well-being. These programs show how quickly political disputes can endanger the most vulnerable. Early childhood education is also at risk. Head Start and Early Head Start serve over 1 million children, offering care, meals, and support. Some centers are set to lose funding right as a shutdown would begin, forcing immediate closures. Parents could lose childcare overnight, risking their jobs and children's stability. For many kids, Head Start is a lifeline, providing nutrition and a safe environment. Closing these centers disrupts routines and removes a vital safety net. The ripple effect destabilizes entire households, not just government workers. A shutdown turns political failure into a real-life crisis for families. Federal workers feel the shutdown first and hardest. Hundreds of thousands are furloughed without pay, while others must work without pay to keep essential services running. Many live paycheck to paycheck, forced to drain savings or seek help from food banks. The stress is immense, with no clear end in sight. Even if back pay is approved later, it doesn't help families cover bills now. This year, the threat of permanent layoffs adds new fear for government employees. Contractors, unlike federal workers, rarely get back pay, making their losses permanent. Dedicated public servants become bargaining chips in a political fight. Their livelihoods and their family's security hang in the balance. The shutdown's human cost is immediate and severe. The pain of a shutdown spreads far beyond federal workers. In cities with many government jobs, local businesses suffer as spending drops. Restaurants, shops, and service providers lose customers, sometimes forcing layoffs or closures. Government contractors and their employees are hit hard, often without hope of back pay. Charities and food banks see demand surge while donations fall, straining their resources. The economic ripple effect touches everyone, from baristas to delivery drivers. A shutdown quickly becomes a community crisis, not just a political one. The fallout is felt in every corner of affected towns and cities. Facing a government shutdown or any period of uncertainty can be incredibly stressful for families. The unknowns about income, bills, and daily life can weigh heavily on everyone, but there are practical steps you can take to prepare and ease some of that anxiety. Preparation doesn't eliminate the stress, but it can help you feel more in control and ready for whatever comes next. Start by reviewing your household budget carefully. Identify all your essential expenses, and look for areas where you can cut back on non-essential spending. Even small savings can add up over time and help stretch your resources further. Consider postponing big purchases and focus on needs rather than wants during uncertain times. If possible, try to build or add to an emergency fund, even if it's just a few dollars at a time. Every bit you set aside can make a difference if your income is disrupted. Encourage everyone in the family to contribute what they can and make saving a shared goal. Federal employees should reach out to their credit unions or banks to ask about special assistance programs. Many financial institutions offer low-interest loans, deferred payments, or other support during shutdowns or financial emergencies. Make a list of your creditors and monthly bills. If you anticipate trouble making payments, contact your creditors early. Many companies are willing to work with you and may offer temporary relief such as payment plans or extensions if you explain your situation before you fall behind. Research local food banks, pantries, and community resources before you need them. Knowing where to turn for help with groceries or other essentials can provide peace of mind and ensure your family's basic needs are met if money gets tight. Have open and honest conversations with your family about the situation. Involve everyone in making a plan so each person knows what to expect and how they can help. This can reduce fear and help children feel more secure, even when things are uncertain. If your family relies on federal programs for food, healthcare, or other support, reach out to local agencies to ask about their contingency plans. They may have information about alternative resources or temporary assistance if federal services are disrupted. Organize important documents, make checklists, and keep emergency contacts handy. Taking these steps won't prevent a shutdown, but they can give you a sense of control and help your family feel more secure during uncertain times. While we all hope for a quick resolution, being prepared helps families weather the storm together. Remember, you're not alone, support is available, and taking action now can make a real difference in how you experience uncertainty. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. With that, you are ahead of 90% of most people in America. Here is the bonus tip that we promised. If you're worried about how a shutdown might affect your household, start building a small emergency buffer today. Even $10 to $20 a week adds up. Having quick access to cash for essentials like groceries, gas, or utilities can reduce stress and keep your family afloat during uncertain times. The information provided in this content is for educational and informational purposes only, and should not be considered financial, legal, or tax advice. Always consult with a qualified financial advisor, tax professional, or legal counsel before making any financial decisions. The creator of this content is not responsible for any actions taken based on the information provided. Investments and financial decisions carry risk, and past performance does not guarantee future results.